Hi, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner. Any of those you want to call me, you can. This will be a super speedy update for my 25 and 2025 project. Again, I'm filming before work and I was already late, but then I had Roxy sitting on my lap because she likes to sit in this chair, so I just kindly put her in my lap. And then something fell, and as she was jumping away, she ripped some of my flesh out with it. So spent a few minutes patching myself up, but I do want to get this filmed. I actually don't have too much left in this project. I even added a few things last time to replace some nail polishes, like glitter nail polishes I definitely wasn't going to finish. But I'll get started with the makeup. So first is my Dose of Colors foundation that I added in the shade 122. I panned the 120 shade in the beginning of the year, and now I put in my 122 shade, which is my summer shade. It was definitely too dark for me a few weeks ago, but then I actually added a bunch of they're like the foundation samples that come in this type of packaging, but they were a lot bigger. But I added 3 different ones that were like the lightest shade that came in the sample pack. And now it started settling a bit, I think because it thinned it out. And from the settle mark, at least it's hard to tell on camera, but it settled to about here. But I can't tell if that's because when I scrape the side, that is as far down as it goes. Sorry, I'm sweating because I had to turn my AC off. But I can't tell if it's settled there because of that, or if because that's the actual settle line. So I have a little over 2 months to finish this because I'm filming this on October 20th. Very late again, but I do think I will be able to finish it, especially now that it's lightened up. I'm wearing it pretty much every single day. I did skip it a few times because sometimes I actually wanted to look really nice, but I didn't want to look super dark. Or I also didn't bring this with me when I was on my 3-day trip for my cousin's wedding, but other than that, I'm going to start wearing it every day. And next was my NYX Marshmallow Primer. I'm still using this. It was sputtering a bit, but then it kind of went away. I don't know why, because I've been keeping this just like flat on these 2 products have just been flat on my desk this whole time because I want them to settle. But I actually do think this is an airless pump, which makes the sputtering even weirder. But yeah, this is still going. Then finally, my powder. This is my Artist Couture powder in the shade Honey Suede. And look at it. If you watched my pans in my collection video, you would have seen this. But I did use this maybe once or twice after filming that. So the pan has expanded greatly since last update, and even since I filmed that pans in my collection video, I've like halfway exposed the space between the 2nd and 3rd rings, and then I did uncover a part of the 3rd most outer ring, so that's exciting. I haven't used this in like 2 weeks now because it's just getting really hard to get my giant brush in there with all the pans. So I was waiting to film this, but I am going to repress this now. Then finally for makeup, I have my empty. If you watched my empties video, you would have seen this already, but it's my blush stick finally. Last time I finished my contour stick. Oh, this is the Clinique Chubby Stick, by the way, in the shade Plumped Up Peony. But now I finished the blush, and I actually wasn't expecting to finish it this update, but also this update is almost 3 weeks late, so, but I did finish this like a week ago anyway. But yeah, anyway, this is gone, so I'm very excited about that. I don't have time to do swatches for everything, sorry. But you should watch that empties video. So this was the final makeup product from my original round of makeup products, and I'm very excited that I have another empty, especially cream blush, because as I was saying in that empties video, it is very hard for me to finish those. Moving on to fragrance, I only had 2 fragrances left in this project last update, and I'm happy to say they're both empty now. This is the Moschino Fresh that was just in a little mini dabber bottle. It was like very close to being empty, and I was able to finish it off in like a week after filming that last update, so it's just been sitting on my desk this whole time. And then this is the Alt Fragrances Amber Angel that I rolled in to replace the Fenty body spray that I originally had in this project. I actually didn't technically finish this. I ended up mixing it with this leave-in conditioner that I use, this Shea Moisture leave-in conditioner, but it smells like raw ingredients. I've been mentioning this in my previous updates as well. It smells like raw ingredients, so I always like to mix this in here, and I just ended up dumping this whole thing in here. So I've only used this, let me open it again. I've only used this twice so far, and I honestly don't know if I don't think I'll be finishing this by the end of the year. But at least for the purposes of this project, I'm considering this an empty. And then that's so sad. I just saw that I knocked over my nail polish. This is my glitter nail polish from Milani in the shade Sugar High. It's just a multicolored glitter. I'm wearing it on my nails now. That looks really bad. Don't look at that. I need to redo my nails. But yeah, I'm trying to finish this as with all the other products, and it was like settling down to here, but I think this is very dried out, so I think that's just where it was sticking to the sides. So I am gonna try to revive this one more time with like just a bunch of acetone, and then see how much I can get out of this throughout the rest of the year. And then after that, I'm not gonna revive it anymore. Sorry, I'm trying to talk so fast to get out of here. I'm just gonna call it an empty after that. So I do think I'll be able to finish this by the end of the year, because it was even really difficult to get product out of this when I did this manicure. That's debatable. Yeah, that's the final product that I have to talk about for this update. I am so late, but I'll just see you in my next video, and until then, I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching. Bye.